Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today is a sponsored interview or AMA, whatever you like to call it, with the representative of one of the biggest exchange in the future, I hope, and he also hope that, BitOrb, Hung Tan Lim, and we will talk about why this exchange is great, what are the perks, and why you, particularly you, might be interesting to join it. And yeah, welcome to the channel. Please introduce us your products and service.
Cool. Thank you very much, Kirill, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and to your audience as well. My name is Hong Teng, and I am the CEO and one of the co-founders for the BitOrb Crypto Derivatives Exchange. We'll be launching soon after 1.5 years of developing this exchange and platform. We've managed to create new exciting trading tools as well, and we have our own native token that offers profit share paid out in Bitcoin. So we're currently the only exchange that we know of that actually offers this profit share paid out in Bitcoin, and we've got a trading strategy maker for traders to actually use for free to trade 24/7 in this wonderful 24/7 market.
Yeah, so actually there are a few things which I am aware about BitOrb Exchange and why it is cool. So you briefly mentioned all of them, and we will discuss those in details. Well, first of all is BitOrb token, which, as people probably know, many exchanges use their tokens for providing some kind of discounts for the trading, for example, trading fees and so on. But in your case, you actually the only one exchange, I guess, again, as far as I know, which provides the share of the profit of the exchange. And you can imagine how much huge exchanges makes money these days. So everyone probably wants to have a piece of this profit, and it's really appealing point. Second thing is your feature in the exchange tools, which is called Orchestrator, and it's also very unique and handy for the programmable trading, also very interesting. And in fact, there is also some kind of benefits in terms of the efficiency of the trading, as far as I know, like user experience and so on. So we'll probably talk about all of that in a greater detail a little bit later. So in any case, could you tell us about the trading, the leverage trading? What are the features? Why it might be better than the other exchanges like BitMEX or Bybit and or other exchanges? Like, what's the technical features you provide, and why are they so interesting?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'm actually quite keen to get straight into the platform. Shall we just go straight into the exchange and actually look at it?
Yeah, let's do that. That will be cool.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Let's make a screen share.
Cool, I'll share my screen now. That's right, nice. Okay, so I've actually started with this particular screen where people who are more green when it comes to trading crypto derivatives would be introduced to something where we are introducing to the market the simple mode. So as you can see here, under exchange, we've got simple and advanced. And what you're looking here is at the simple mode. So if you're talking about technical advances, we've got something that's interesting here for somebody who is not keen to look at technical analysis or charts. They just want to take a good and long or good short position. They're able to do that very quickly after they've deposited Bitcoin. So if I run through an example here, say for example, someone is going for 1,000 contracts, it immediately shows $1,000 there, and they can put in their leverage, or they can type in one of a unique type of leverage that they'd like to go for. To keep things simple, let's talk about 5x. They can then, instead of calculating or using some manual spreadsheet as to what their exit price will be, they can actually just put in as, right, I want to make like 30% from this particular trade at this particular market price, and then it shows you what that exit position would be. So the system actually automatically does that for you, and you can then put in your stop loss price as well by just indicating the percentage that you're willing to lose, and then click buy. So the moment you do that and confirm it, there it goes. It appears in blue, and you can either close the contract or amend it. And it's very quickly done. In under 10 or 15 seconds, you're pretty much done that. You can do that as well for a short and a long, as I've shown here. Now, I'd like to then show you the advanced mode. So this is the advanced mode of our exchange, and as you saw just now, you can choose between simple and advanced. We've listed here our digital asset, Bitcoin. We're looking at the future assets, and we're looking to add them further as well. We've got a lot of interesting products that we're looking at. We've got a development team and a product team to create new and interesting derivatives items for the future. Now I'll go through the top bit a bit. Here we've got the balance for your wallet, transaction history. It's pretty self-explanatory there. But we also have the ability for users to change their layout and save it as well. So what we mean by that is that you're able to do things like that. Everything here on the screen, you can change its size and you can move it around, which is especially useful for when you actually want to have a multi-screen setup, which so many traders do today. Now, in the middle, we've got the chart that we've sourced from TradingView. We can also show the various different indicators as expected of TradingView. We've got the order book shown here magenta for the shorts and in blue for the longs, recent trade history. Now, this is where we get to the interesting bits, right? So the order form, let's just say, let's do an example. I want to do a market buy of Bitcoin because we want Bitcoin to continue going up, and I want to do a leverage of 10x. Now, if I quickly click on open long, what would happen here is that the confirmation screen comes up. It shows the 1000, it shows the 10x. Now, just like the simple mode earlier, I can actually just do my take profit here and set it as percentages, or write it down, or put the actual price. Make it really easy. Say, for example, I want to make 100% profit in this particular trade. So I know that if Bitcoin's mark price would basically rise to 9,725, the system would start to exit the position. I can be very, going for 100%, but decide to only lose 5% in this particular market. That's where my exit price would be compared to the current price now. Now, if I were to then click buy, you notice immediately comes out. So we've made it really simple, actually, even in advanced mode, for someone to put a trade quickly. And you've noticed something else here as well. There are two separate long positions. What I mean by that is that our exchange, and as far as we know, we're the only ones in the market that will be able to do this, we can actually do a short position at the same time. So what do I mean by that? Say, for example, I've decided to do a short at this particular point. I can now have both longs and shorts, and I can have multiple positions or active orders open here, especially interesting for countries where they have to pay, or they have a tax event the moment they collect profit. So by having an open position, they don't need to close their positions, and then they don't need to pay the tax until a time in the future. So that's something very unique about the BitOrb exchange. One of the great features that we have and that we're introducing to the market is an innovative product that we've actually created from the ground up. As you know, BitOrb is an exchange that we've sourced together all the developers from various parts of the world in order to create something that's new and that's value adding to the particular industry that we're in. And this is called the Orchestrator, right? It's the world's first automated executable strategy maker. Now, there are conditional trade options in other exchanges out there, but I'm going to show you the depth that we can go with the Orchestrator. So let's just get straight into it. Let's call this particular strategy long Bitcoin 1. And if I were to create this particular limit order, good to cancel, pretty standard. Let's buy 1,000 contracts, and I want to buy it at a price of, say, where the resistance level, or support level, we can call it here, is about 8,006. I want to buy it at 8,600. And let's do it for simplicity's sake. Let's put a 10x leverage. Now, I can take my profit and set it here, right? So in future, what we're looking at as well is the option to do it in percentages, but we're thinking for advanced traders right now. That's why we've left it at the particular exit prices here. Now, my stop loss, I could put at 8,500, say, for example. Now, this is the cool part about the Orchestrator. I can now set a trigger point, and I can do it based on an indicator. Say, for example, here we've listed about 6 different ones, but we're going to add more and more indicators, especially especially as we work closer and closer with traders out there. And we've got a mark price, say, for example, I want it to be less than or equal to 8,650. So what would happen is that my contract would only appear in the order book when my indicator has been fired off. So I can then do that and create this particular strategy. Now, right now, it's testing against our orchestrator engine to ensure that the rules that I've done make sense. And once it's done that, it's in the system. Now, if the orchestrator were actually to fire off this particular strategy, we'd have an indicator to show that a strategy is actually in play. Now, although that seemed something that might be reminiscent of other options in other exchanges, I'm going to show you a new feature that most have never seen before. And what I mean by most is because we're slowly sharing this ability with more and more influencers like yourself, Kiro, and they're finding this really fascinating. So let's just put that as a similar order as well at 8,600. Screw it. Let's play a little bit with 100x there. And yeah, we want to take profit. Let's leave that for now at 100x. We'll leave that. And this time, I can not only just choose the mark price of, say, for example, less than or equal to 8,650, but I can also do this. I can choose more than one indicator. And let's just say I want to do an RSI. Let's use these periods for now. And say, for example, I want it when it's oversold, of less than 30. And I can create this particular strategy. So again, it's going through that. And oh, good, it's all good there. To create it, to go even further than this, Kirill, if you don't mind me just explaining the audience a little bit, you can actually go all the way and, just for example, you can actually do this, right? You can do indicators, you can do and then you can do that as well. So you can make it for very advanced traders. They can basically create such tight strategies for using the orchestrator before let it go off while they sleep, and hopefully in the morning they've basically taken the order and also taken profit as well. So that's a very brief introduction of the exchange from the simple mode to the advanced mode to having the orchestrator and the ability to actually have multiple longs and shorts for our exchange. Just based on those few items there right now, it's things that we're bringing into the market that as a one platform seems very encouraging for a lot of traders that we've been talking to from around the world.
Let me just briefly summarize what you told about the orchestrator, because I think it's one of the most important points for the exchange, which you highlighted. So the idea is, at the simplest part, you can use it as a conditional trading. So for example, if the price goes this way, then you execute this trade. If the price goes to this level, then you execute another trade. So you can basically trade both ways regardless of the price action. And normally you can't do it without this conditional trading. And the second option which you can do is that you can set a certain rules which would depend on the different indicators. For example, you have a strategy when you look at 3 different indicators, the price level, supports and resistance, and so on. And so you have to manually do this by looking at all those values. But technically, with the orchestrator feature, you can do that in an automatic way. Like you're programming your own trading bot in the simplest form possible. This is, I think, is a very powerful feature.
That's absolutely correct, Kirill. I mean, what we've basically thought is, why should only the rich, and the connected be able to have their own software engineers or algorithmic traders? Why can't we give this ability to everybody in the world and give it to them for free?
Exactly, that's super cool. All right, so I think that it is quite of the informative introduction for this part, and I just wanted to switch to another interesting thing, namely the BitOrb token. So you were pointing out that you're probably one of the well, the one and only exchange which provides this kind of profitability by holding this token. Can you tell us about this a little bit more?
So with regards to the Orbit token, my fellow co-founders and partners, we decided, based on this premise when we started this project in July 2018, we thought, look, we're going to build a project, and we believe that this platform from this project is going to be very, very inviting for a lot of traders around the world to use. And we're assuming, of course, that we'll make good revenues from this platform. And to continue developing this platform into 2020 and beyond, we would like to actually market ourselves, provide more services, and be able to expand on our product as well. Now, we've managed to raise funds in order to complete the exchange, and that's what you have seen here today. And we've managed to raise funds in order to do our testnet and launch the exchange. Now, unlike the previous ICOs and various fundraising rounds that we have seen in this industry, we thought, look, rather than just create a token that gives you a discount, let's create a token that actually securitizes our profits and shares that with token holders. And that's where we decided to do an STO. And with the security token offering, this allows token holders to actually buy the tokens, gain from loyalty programs such as our referral programs and future loyalty benefits as well. They are also able to gain from trading discounts, such as up to 30% discounts for the taker fee. And what's interesting as well, as you've mentioned just now, we're bringing to the market, and as far as we're concerned, the first in the world where investors are able to hold these tokens, and the more tokens they have, the more prorated profit share they get from the exchange's revenue. And this is all paid out in Bitcoin. Now, our concept behind this is very simple. We're a company, and as a company, we're treating it like a public listed entity. So we are going to take this profit that we make, and we want to be very transparent about it and share it with everybody who's got that confidence in our team and in our platform to buy our token going into the future. And that's the Orbit token for you.
That's absolutely amazing. I think that there's not only the single one exchange, at least from my knowledge, which does this, but also, as I already mentioned to you before, like when you are trying to analyze the asset, in particular crypto asset, it's almost impossible to do any kind of the fundamental analysis except kind of a network things when you doing with Bitcoin or Ethereum. All the rest are almost no data, or at least no useful data which you can use for FA. But in case of, let's say, the exchange token, you technically could base some kind of the estimation of future price of this token as soon as you have the data for the revenues, for the capital growth of the exchange. And technically, it's not available at the moment for most of the exchanges. But with your exchange, you basically have this tokenized asset, which could gives you, as soon as you have the data for the profit share, you can get the information for the condition at the certain point in terms of the capital, and like project it for the future growth or decline, whatever. But in any case, you can apply some kind of fundamental analysis based on this data. I think it's very, very special and outstanding feature. So yeah, guys, basically hold Orbit token, and then you will get share of the whole company. I think it's great. Nobody does this. And in addition to that, of course, you can get this profits in Bitcoin, but you can reinvest everything again to Orbit token, get more and more and more. So your gains will go exponential, hopefully. And yeah, everybody would be happy. Let's see. So also, I think we need to mention a few like smaller things. I don't think that you require KYC, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
That's correct. Our exchange doesn't require KYC for anybody who wants to come in and trade. KYC is only applied for withdrawals of a certain limit and above.
I see. Something like 100 Bitcoin or something like that, for if you're a whale.
That's right.
I see.
We want to be regulated as well, and we've already applied for at least one regulator for licensing. that is one of those requirements that they'll look at, especially for anti-money laundering, etc. And I'd like to add as well, for profit share though, we do require everybody to actually do KYC. So if somebody wants to do profit share or gain from that, they'll need to do KYC. But with regards to just trading on exchange to gain the benefits of discounts, that is all doesn't require KYC.
Great, great. Well, there are a few, many other things actually. We can talk about it for hours. But the last thing which I was going to mention, and maybe you will tell just a couple of words, that I think that we will have the testnet competition as soon as it will go live. Is it correct? Any details we can provide?
Yeah, we're so excited about it. That's why the developers are working really hard right now. We want to do our testnet because as a testnet, as in the public domain, we'd have the ability to be able to test our platform on a much larger scale. I mean, having our quality assurance testers internally, our developers, and of course our crew and our influencers such as yourself to test and give us feedback. You know, there's only so much trading going on at any one time. What we want to do is actually put out a test net for a lot of thousands of traders to come in and actually trade on exchange, and we can start to see in our logs and in our reports to see whether there are any bugs and issues that we need to address with larger volume. Now, as a result of this, we are going to reward these traders. They can come in and they'll get about 50 Bitcoin in their testnet wallet. And in our exchange, they're able to do these trades, and we'll look at the best ROI on a daily, weekly, monthly, depending on how long we run our testnet trading competition for. And we would reward these traders in Bitcoin and also in Orbit tokens. We're talking about 33,000 US dollars worth of prizes.
That's great. So guys, you've heard that. $33,000 fund for the trading competition. So if you get some kind of the winning position, then you have a chance to get a portion of that. I don't know, a couple of grants, maybe. It depends. Like, just go 100x with your 50 Bitcoin. Maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be in the first line or like first 10 of the winners. So yeah, why not? It's basically free money. It's awesome, I think, and not only for in terms of the some kind of free gains, but also you'll test the platform. You will learn how to trade if you don't have experience. So I think it's great point as well. Thank you very much for this opportunity to profit a bit, to get some money for free. I think everybody would appreciate that. Okay, so I think we covered pretty much all that we planned. So if you have anything else to add to what we already talked about, then go ahead. And part of that, of course, I will add all the links in the description to this video. So if you want to learn about the exchange or about the features, join the testnet competition when it go live, and learn about the Orbit token and so on and so forth, please join. Also, I'll have my referral link, so you will get maybe some free bonuses, I hope, using this referral link. And yeah, that's it. So is there anything else we forgot?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, very good. So, well, I wish you good luck with launching your exchange. I hope, and then, like, again, 1.5 years of working before the launch, and like those additional features, I think you have pretty decent chance to get a share in the market in this developing space. So hopefully we'll all do great. And again, thank you very much for sharing this data, for doing all you do. And yeah, let's rock. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Kirill. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks guys for watching, and see you in the next videos. Please join. Goodbye.